Thank you for joining us today. At Hope Bridge, we believe that open conversations can create understanding, reduce stigma, and inspire positive change. We invite you to listen with an open mind, reflect on the insights shared, and be a part of building a more compassionate community.
So, hey everyone, welcome back to the session. And the session is brought to you by Hope Bridge, where we spread hope, support, and positivity through meaningful social initiatives. In honor of Men's Mental Health Week, I, Shucheta Kundu, and alongside me, there is Ritopa Haldar. And today we are exploring the courage to vulnerate, redefining male strength. Joining us is Mr. Shinjan Ghosh, sir, an RCI licensed clinical psychologist, senior consultant at Amaha Health, PhD research scholar at Calcutta University, with over 6 years of experience. Before we begin, sir, a massive congratulations from all of us regarding therapeutic metaphors, meaning of Life of the Couch, the book that you published. Congratulations from all of us. We are so proud of your achievement and welcome to the channel, sir. So,
Thank you so much for such warm words. Sorry, you're saying something. I just
no,
interrupted.
sir. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for such kind words. Yeah, I'll be sending the link and promoting the book so that people can
Sure,
buy
sir. Absolutely.
and read it and give me like honest feedbacks. And it's really an honor to be a part of this show. And yes, men's mental health is an important domain, not much touched as compared to many other domains. But it's a great thing that Hope Beach has taken this initiative to like take it up.
Yes. So, we have some questions for you. Should we start then?
Sure.
So, sir, my first question to you is that our theme is the ability to vulnerate. What are the main social rules that stop men from showing their feelings?
See, the thing is that at the end of the day, we all are social beings, being very frank. And when I'll talk about the social rules, I'll talk about it from two lenses. One, the whole society, as we say. Another, the society we live in. What I mean by the society we live in, because if you think about it, our family is a society, our friends group is a society. The school where we, like our primary school, our secondary, senior secondary school is a society. So yes, there is an objective. If I look at it in an objective social paradigm, then there are multiple rules which definitely come up from the lens of patriarchy, where it's put that males are or male bodied individuals are supposed to be providers, are supposed to be emotionally strong people, are supposed to be people who are so called should always be strong. And the problem is not with these terms. The problem is with the way we define these terms. Like, for example, strong is a good word. No problem in having the word strong. Emotionally strong, yeah, a good word. But the problem is the meaning making of these words. If we look into it, emotions or the word emotional has been understood in a very problematic light. When we say emotional, somebody is emotional, we usually mean that somebody is anxious, somebody is sad, somebody is afraid. Usually these three emotions are considered as emotional. We don't usually say that somebody is happy, oh my god, so emotional, as if happiness is not an emotion. It's only sadness, anxiety, guilt. I mean, the kind of emotions which society have called as negative emotions. Why only blame the society? We psychologists have also called them the negative emotions at some point of time. So the thing is that when society comes up with these kinds of like labels, that basically makes different people, um, be a male, be a female, be a trans, be a queer, get adhered to this norms or get adhered to this kind of rules. The question is why? Because we need an identity. We need to identify with something. So when the society is saying that I will call you a man if you are a provider, if you are strong, if you are emotionally this, that, I would like to have that identity for myself. So I would want to suddenly and certainly start adhering to those norms and to those belief system or to those action parameters so that I can become a man. So that is how it all starts. So that's the objective part of it. Why I said that there is also a bit of the society we live in or the society we are brought up in matters, because it can be that the society we are brought up in, like our family, our school, if they also comply to that thing, it just increases the whole thing. Because if I see that the objective social values are also like promoted or rather accelerated or escalated by our family and our school, then we are like, oh my god, this is right. I'm not liking it. I feel like I'm crying and everybody is making a fun of me. But no, 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 this should be right. Everybody is saying this is right. So okay, let me try to get into it. But if we see and we are born in a family, or we are in a particular place where, or our school is something, or we at least have one teacher which who questions it, either by direct talking or preaching or by their behaviors. I can give a very personal example. I have been privileged enough to be in a family where my father was a better cook than my mother at a point of time. My father actually taught my mother how to cook. So I have, like my first experiences have been my father and mother both cooking in a kitchen. So I have always observed a very equalized kind of a thing. I have not observed that kitchen is for the female and this part is for the male and that kind of a thing. So my immediate society completely opposes the objective society. Helps me in not thankfully adhering to that toxic masculinity or that toxic patriarchy. But not everybody is as privileged as me. So there comes that problems and that adherence increases. So that's kind of a very short way. Obviously, I can go on speaking 1 hour for this, but a short way in which, like the society, be it the objective or the things we are, or the society we are born and brought up in, does shape the way we look at, like our gender roles, or in this case, the roles of a man or the roles of a male. I hope I could answer the question.
Yes, sir. That is quite insightful. So, my next question to you is men often hide pain behind anger, overworking, or staying quiet. We can say that a lot. How can we notice when a man is secretly going through a hard time, which we don't usually get to see?
Yeah, it again kind of stems up from the emotions which are male and the emotions which are female and all. Like a male anger is promoted, the sadness is not promoted. A female sadness is promoted, but the female anger is not promoted. It's kind of like that. Now the thing is that how we understand that a man is suffering from something uh, is based on how much we observe the man. Whenever we see that a man is basically being very irritated or being a little hyper aggressive or showing a lot of anger outbursts, a little bit uncharacteristic to that person's usual nature. Now, there are people, irrespective of their gender identity, who can be naturally very, like aggressive. But if a person, a little uncharacteristic of their usual baseline of anger or usual baseline of irritation, is showing a little bit more of an constant irritation, a constant anger outburst, or in a different extreme, is suddenly getting isolated from people, from their close ones, from their not only family, from their friends, suddenly getting into a lot of substance abuse. A packet of cigarette always there in their pocket, getting into a lot of alcohol, weed, getting a lot into it, or it's kind of making their life all about work and money. If all these things or some of these things suddenly we see has increased in a person, we can say that there is something going on with this particular man. Now, why this particular things? Because if you look into it, all these particular things are kind of adhered to the social acceptance or the particular expression which society still accepts. Anger, society accepts. Irritation, accepts. Isolation and being only at work, society accepts. Focusing on work and money, society accepts. So the man is suddenly coping by avoidance. Basically, is avoiding everything, avoiding the feeling, expression, comprehension, or dealing of their emotion, but with the ways in which the society accepts it of the man. Similarly, cigarette, we don't usually say that, like, have you seen that guy having cigarette? বাবা মা কিছু শেখায়নি, but we usually say to a girl na that মেয়েটাকে দেখেছি ছ্যা ট্যা 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 ট্যা। We get into the gender, not the cigarette. Suddenly it becomes a gender issue, not the cigarette issue. So therefore, a man taking up a cigarette is again very socially accepted, and that becomes a coping mechanism. So in a way, still adhering to that identity, but avoiding the feeling, avoiding the expression, but expression to pore asche, avoiding the comprehension of that emotion through this ways. So that's how usually we can understand that a man is going through something. And yes, another thing, a little severe, if with a bit of sarcasm, the man is talking about leaving people, not directly suicide, leaving people. So, like, yeah, I'm doing it. Someday I won't be there, and I know that you will be able to manage it. Someday when I'm not there, I know you'll be able to manage. What will you do when I'm not there? It's not like directly মরে যাবো দেখে নিবি, not like that. It's more like someday I'm not there, in a very subtle way, in a very subtle sarcastic way. The person is talking about leaving, and that is also kind of an indicator that something is going.
Thank you, sir, because that will help us understand what actually goes through. We will be able to observe it much better. And last but not the least, my last question to you is that many men feel ashamed to admit that they need support. What is the biggest roadblock that stops them from reaching out to a professional?
Oh well, I might give a little unpopular opinion about in this particular question or in this particular answer. I said the professionals need to learn how to deal with men, and because the way we understand therapy is not a very, it's not very aware of different gender identities. Yes, we are working a lot to understand queer identity and making therapy queer affirmative, but I think we need to also work on making therapy male affirmative, still not male affirmative. Now, let me explain why I say that. You see that what we were just talking about, that there are some social norms about how different gender copes and different gender expresses their emotions. Now suppose you have a man have been always told that you are a very outcome oriented, action oriented, solution oriented provider kind of a person. Now the man has been brought to a therapy which is working in a very traditional understand emotion, talk about life kind of a therapy. It's very against the man's usual way of functioning. So, for when we are doing it with a person who would like to show their emotion but is not getting space to show their emotion, it still becomes a better venting space or a better space, safe space to be able to come up with that. But for a person who has a belief that no, that's not how I identify myself. I'm going through an issue and I want to. I'm coming to the therapy. First of all, वैसे भी I'm coming to the therapy against my issue with help-seeking behavior. That's one of the issues men have. Help-seeking behavior, don't want to seek help because again, something which is not adhering to the male identity. But I have already come to you against my help seeking behavior. Why? Because something is going on, I'm not being able to deal with it. I want you to help me to deal with it. You are telling me, talk about it, feel it, name your emotions, which are wonderful techniques, but might not work with many males. So, what we professionals have to understand that when we are telling a man that emotions are fine, you can be vulnerable, you can speak out, you can cry, you can be sad, That is a very deeper work for a man. Why? Because we are going against many layers. We have to take it slow. So maybe for the professional, the first few sessions have to be skill oriented, where we are adhering to the ways in which a man functions, helping them in their present day life, present day outcome, but at the same time, thus creating that space where they can laugh, they can smile, they can be a little irritated, a little sad. And dheere dheere getting into opening up that space so that they can be vulnerable. Another thing. It's very complicated, and the way the society nowadays talks about the concept of it's okay not to be okay. A man can cry, a man can be vulnerable. Why? Because based on my very little experience, what I have understood, the society in a lot, I mean, some people, they want a man to say, I am struggling, but I am working on it, rather than saying, I am struggling and I don't know hell about what to do about it. It's kind of huma firake coming out. Yes, yes, you are having a problem, but you are doing something about it. There are a lot of times when, if you think about it, in a therapy, it's just a 50-minute to 1 hour session. Now, I am not the representative of everybody. In my session, suppose the person knows that, okay, it's okay not to be okay. I can be sad, I can be that. And I understood, okay, okay, yes, I was wearing a mask of, like suppressing emotion. Now I'll get out and I will be able to express it. The question is that, is the person's support system, is the person's family, friends, partner, vagera vagera, workplace, are they also allowing the person, or giving that person, giving that man that space to actually emote? Leads to a bit of a controversy, leads to a bit of a clash. Comes up with saying to the therapist that, you are telling my emotions are fine, but nobody is actually allowing me to do that. I am feeling really good when I'm doing that with you, but I'm going out and still others are actually, making a fun of me. What is right? What is not? It is right. It is not. It is right. It is not. Comes to a huge kind of a confusion. So it have to be, for a therapeutic point of view, it have to be a good combination of emotional regulation, emotional expression, emotional mindfulness, along with skill building, working on outcomes, working on techniques for the way in which the person, the man, can deal with things. If we can combine this two and work with a man in a way, it works like magic. If not, and then really, I mean, I know there's a lot of things about men are not good clients. There are a lot of saying. Trust me, I have not found that. I see all gender identities, and equally all identities have been wonderful clients. I think in a way, if we customize it, understanding their history, their gender, their culture, and the way society have affected them, it's about an understanding of intersectionality. It's an understanding of how one person is not only the person, it's a lot of other things. When we understand the different sections where the person is coming up with, we can tailor made our approach for that. So, in a way, why a man is not that, or what roadblocks affect the man? Two things. One, definitely the way therapy is seen, that's a problem, because therapy is shown, and yeah, another problem, big problem, the way therapy is shown in social media, and the way therapy is shown in, like what to say, in films and all. I have seen very less films showing therapy as it is. They show it in a complete different light. That's an issue. Another thing, there is a lot of so-called influencers who actually speak not so scientific things on Instagram, and that leads to a very confusing idea of therapy. And at the same time, their own experiences. If a man has a wrong or a bad experience with therapy, a woman might give it another chance, because it's still that emotional regulation part of it. But for a man, and more for a peer, it becomes very tough to come back to it, because both feel, in this particular sector, both feel misunderstood. আরেকটা important জিনিসও থেকে যায়, that is, usually psychology or psychotherapy is a female dominated field. So a lot of time, many male, they either don't get a good male psychologist to relate to, or they feel not so ready to be vulnerable in front of a thief. So there are multiple kinds of things, and everything can be dealt with if you look at it from an intersectional and systematic lens, and if we learn to customize it. If we customize it, the bridge can be reduced. If not, the bridge can increase. So that's kind of it.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us such clear understanding of these issues that men face. Thank you for bringing those to light for such great insights. So that will be all for today. A huge thanks to you, sir, for joining us and sharing your expertise. And once again, congratulations on your book, Therapeutic Metaphors, Meaning and Life Off the Couch. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you found the conversation valuable, please like, share, subscribe the channel for more initiatives from Hope Bridge. If you have any questions, do write them down in the comments and stay tuned till the next video. Thank you.